Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to get right into it. I have a leg day. I have quads and glutes going down with a little bit of calves as well. And I'm going to show you guys some of my workout. I'm about to eat breakfast. I'm about to do some of my client work and get on about my day. And then the end of this video, I'm going to be doing just like a little bit of like a life update, how prep went. A lot of you guys wanted like a super in-depth how the rest of my prep went and stuff, just because I did half the series on here, and things got a little hard, you guys. I kind of had to take a step back from posting my prep series on here. So we're just going to touch on it briefly. I don't want to make it like an entire thing, but I know a lot of you guys were curious how that kind of all went and my experience and how has it been post show and how was my reverse and all of these things. So we're going to touch on that. Show you guys what I'm eating for breakfast. We're going to put on a fit and then we're going to get to the gym. So recently I've been going to the gym like pretty much right after I wake up. So I just get ready real quick and then I eat some breakfast. What I was doing for a while was, let me put the knife down. I was eating like a breakfasty type of meal before my lift. So I was having like, eggs, some fruit and stuff like that. But I'm in a little bit of a growth phase right now, like a small one. We're doing like a small, just 8-week build phase. I was just finding that that was like not enough fuel for before my lift. So my first meal of the day has been kind of like a non-traditional first meal of the day. I've been having chicken with like sweet potato and avocado, which is exactly what I'm going to be having right now. The biggest thing for me, like especially on leg days, I have to be fueled up properly. If you guys are training fasted, kudos to you. I personally would never lift fasted. I've done obviously a lot of fasted cardio and stuff like that, but lifting fasted is a whole other ordeal that I don't think I personally would be dabbling into all that much. I need some carbs in my system, I need some fats, and I need like a solid source of protein. So yeah, biggest game changer, you guys, is eating high protein in the mornings. I've talked about this on my other socials, but eating a high protein breakfast will like change your life. And I sound dramatic saying that probably, but it really will. If you keep your energy just like way more stable throughout the day, you're going to feel way fuller in the morning. You're not going to be like crashing out at 1 p.m. If you're eating like straight carbs for breakfast, that could be like a big reason why you feel like you just have a constant energy crash out on a daily basis, like in the afternoon. Get some proteins and fats in the morning, I promise. Recently with my potatoes, I've been baking them instead of air frying them. I just feel like you get way more of the actual potato content than you would when you air fry them. I feel like the measuring accuracy with weighing out my food was starting to be like back and forth because an air fried potato and like a baked potato weigh two very different amounts. So I was like, I should probably keep it relatively the same, at least for a little while, so I know I'm eating like progressively more of the same kind of food, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna do a little bit of a normal purple potato and a sweet potato, probably like 100 grams or so. So glutes and quads today, I wrote myself a new program for this little growth block. So I have hack squats, leg press, hip thrust. I think I have Bulgarians. What else do I have? Glute medius kickbacks. And there's like one other thing you guys will obviously see in a minute. But after prep, you guys, I honestly have no desire anytime soon to do like a full on bulk like how I did prior to my prep. If you guys were following like my Instagram or my TikTok prior to, my prep series on here and stuff, I did like a full, like over a year-long bulk. And that was like, at the time, like while I was in the bulk, I had no problem with it. But like looking back, I honestly would never do that long of a bulk again. Not to really like put it this way, and I don't want this to be something that like scares anyone out of like doing like a growth phase or anything like that. But you get to a point where after you've kind of put on a certain amount of fat, you're kind of just pushing into like a certain level of insulin resistance, which is not good for anybody. And I definitely had pushed past that point. Now, did it allow me to put on a ton of mass and build muscle? Yes, but like looking back, I don't know if like the cause and effect of how long that bulk was worth it for me. So that's why I'm just doing like a smaller building phase. I did like a small one coming out of my show, and then I kind of just held at maintenance, and now I'm doing another little small one. And then I'll probably do a little bit of a cut, I don't know, 2.5, 3-month cut, definitely like a more laxed cut, nothing like my prep, obviously. I have no desire to get that hefty again, and this is not saying anything towards anybody that like wants that like heftier look. Just for me personally, it's not something I desire right now. I just want to be strong. I want to be healthy. I dealt with some hormone repercussions coming out of my show and I'm still dealing with them. I would actually like to do like a full video on that if that's something that you guys are interested in, but it was like a touchy subject for me to talk about for a while because like obviously your hormones affect your mental health and just affect the way that you feel and all these other things. So, yeah, it was hard for me to even like want to talk about it for a while because I almost felt, I don't want to say like ashamed, but like kind of, you know what I mean? Because like obviously I know that a lot of people, look to me for inspiration or whatever it might be. And I say that humbly, but I felt like I was almost being like a bad, like quote unquote role model by having bad hormones coming out of my show. Like that was in my control. Anyways, we'll do another video on that. I'll do like a whole sit down talk video about kind of the things that I dealt with and maybe, kind of some of the steps that I'm taking to try to improve my hormone health. We're in a much better place now, but yeah, we're like almost what, 7 months post show now, which is crazy. Time literally has gone by so fast, but yeah, still dealing with some negative hormone repercussions, which it honestly sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But, anyways, we're gonna save that for another video. So, like I said, sweet potato, chicken. I'm gonna heat this up and then throw about like 30, no, like 40 grams of avocado on this quote unquote breakfast, but just my first meal. So, like I said, a little bit of purple potato, sweet potato, chicken, sauerkraut, avocado. Easy, simple. You guys don't gotta overcomplicate it. I definitely feel like I have food in my teeth, but oh well, happens to the best of us. So, also recently, my latest obsession has been dates. I don't know why I didn't like. I don't know. I've had a date before, but like lately they just have been tasting so good. So what I've been doing is before my workout, I'll have like 1 or 2 dates with a little bit of almond butter because they're like pretty dense in carbs, but they're light on the stomach. So I've really been liking them as like a little pre-workout snack instead of like rice cakes as of recently. I got the best almond butter of all time, which is the Trader Joe's crunchy almond butter, but I don't know if I haven't gotten it in a while. They only have the no salted version. What is up with that? Who likes an unsalted almond butter? If you do, you're weird. So I'm literally adding some Malden sea salt to my almond butter because quite frankly, it like needs to be salted. Otherwise, it's just not the same. So, right, if you guys haven't tried the Trader Joe's almond butter, you are missing out severely. Ever since prep, my taste buds have changed so drastically. I think it's also the fact that like the way that I eat has changed very drastically as well, which there's a lot of videos I want to make for you guys. I would like to do a video on that, just kind of like how I'm eating now versus how I used to and how much different I feel because of it. These are the dates that I buy. They're from Costco. This like dates are like they seem expensive, but not really because you're not going to sit here and eat like a ton of these really in one sitting. You can, but like I don't. This big thing was like $10 at Costco, I think. 22 servings. And each serving is 2 to 3 dates, so you can do the math. Probably one of these bad boys because I don't want to be too full, and I'm pretty full from that meal that I just had. But yeah, I literally just opened the date. Okay, hold on. Let's get the almond butter situation situated. Yeah. So good, you guys. Dates literally taste like caramel, almost. Maybe I'm delusional. But I'm telling you, with a little bit of almond butter, it'll change your life. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into the workout here. So always starting with a good warm up. Of course, we want to make sure that we're opening up the the knees, the hips, getting everything nice and moving and warm. I never go into my leg days without a little bit of a warm up at least, even if that just means walking on the treadmill for a couple of minutes. And then I will also just kind of do a little bit of upper body mobility as well. I know you're probably like, why am I doing upper body mobility on a leg day? But I want to make sure that my shoulders are warm, that my back is a little bit warm as well, because when I'm doing things like RDLs and stuff, your shoulders and stuff are going to be activated. And obviously, I am avoiding injury at all costs. All right. And then moving into my first exercise of the day, we got pendulums. So I just started programming these again. I'm kind of going back and forth between hack squats and these right now. But honestly, I think I might stick with pendulums for a good little while here because they are very challenging for me. And I just feel like I get the most amount of quad engagement, specifically on this pendulum. Some pendulums are hit or miss for me, but this one specifically is so, so good. And my normal gym that I go to, which is this one, is the only one that I have found this pendulum at. I just feel like for being a short gal, I get a great amount of range of motion on it. And yeah, I just can get a lot of knee flexion without my heels popping off. And it's nice because the platform is adjustable. But, anyways, this one is very heavy at the top. And since it was my first day back doing these, I wanted to go lightweight and just really control the movement to see where my strength is at. And then I moved into my working sets. I already had a quad pump literally just for my warm up sets. But yeah, I just stuck with a 25 for today. I'm doing 3 sets here. My first working set, I do not take it like anywhere near close to failure. It's really just to get a good little pump going, get the blood moving and all that stuff. And then my last 2 working sets are where I'm really grinding it out. And then on my last set, I am taking it pretty much completely to failure. I think this was my last set. I'm honestly not sure. Let me see. No, I think this was my second to last set. But yeah, on my second to last set, I'm always going to take it like, I would say like 2 to 3 reps from failure on specifically my first quad compound movement. This is not every single exercise, but, and then on my last working set, I take it pretty much all the way till failure because this is going to be my main quad movement of the day. As you can tell at this point, I was down bad. I was struggling. So on my last working set here, you will notice that my control is still there, right? We do not want our control to go out the window just because it is our last set. Looking back, honestly, I still probably could have gone even a little bit slower on the way down. I was happy with the control on the way up, but on the way down, I probably could have gone a little bit slower here. I find that if I go too heavy, especially on pendulums, I just like end up really rushing the reps and I'm kind of just letting the weight like tank me down to the bottom, which is not the goal. I still want to feel all the tension on my quads on the way down, at the bottom of the movement, and on the way up. So that's just something that I keep in mind when I'm choosing the amount of weight that I'm doing. There's some days that I can literally do like 2 plates on the pendulum, 3 plates, and then there's other days like today where I was like, okay, the 25 is going to suffice. But yeah, we're going all the way till failure on this one. As you can see here, I kind of let myself tank out at the bottom, which don't do that. Okay, push yourself. I could have pushed a little bit harder on that. And then, yeah, we're moving on to my second quad movement of this exercise. I can't talk. Of this leg day, which is going to be this Cybex leg press. If you guys have this leg press, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Such a good leg press. Just the range of motion that it gives you is fantastic. It really allows you to get a lot of knee flexion without feeling like your heels are going to pop off of the platform. Again, I'm doing 3 working sets here, and I am taking my very last set close to failure, not complete, because right now with my training, I still definitely want to grow my quads, but I would like for my glutes to grow a little bit faster than my quads. So I'm only doing really 2 to 3 exercises for quads a week, but I'm making sure that all of my sets are quality sets. I want to make sure that all of the sets that I'm doing are actually going to be benefiting me and not just junk volume, right? So on this kind of similar placement with my feet, actually a little bit closer than the pendulum. So I have a low stance, toes are forward. I'm making sure that I'm keeping my butt on the ground. You know what I meant, not the ground, the padding. Honestly, lately quads have been like my least favorite thing to train, which is funny because I always usually love training quads, but I don't know, lately I'm like whatever about it, but that doesn't mean that we're not still pushing ourselves. The biggest thing I can tell you guys is when you are like struggling to have motivation for the gym with whatever it might be, there's going to be days that you just really don't want to push. You just got to dig deep. And that might sound a little corny, but you just got to find it within yourself to push a little bit harder. And sometimes those end up being like the best days for your lifts, or the days that you really just kind of don't want to be there, you know? Moving on to glutes now. So this is my first exercise. Again, I'm going a little bit lighter here than I typically would, but I started off with a cast glute bridge, and then I finished off my last couple reps as a full hip thrust. Just trying to get a good pump going here, getting some blood moving into the glutes now that we were transitioning from quads to glutes. And then moving on to exercise 4, I have some step ups going on. Still focusing on the glutes here. So when I put emphasis as hip hinge is pretty much just the act of pushing your hips back, right? That's going to give you the most amount of glute engagement. As you can tell, I'm really controlling this movement, you guys. I used to go way too fast on step ups, and I would try to go really, really heavy, and I would just kind of lose out on that tension on the glutes. On the bottom half of these, I'm barely touching my back foot on the ground. Moving on to RDLs, well, banded RDLs. So a lot of people ask why I use the band. For me, it's more of a mental cue to let my hips get pulled back. It does add a little bit of tension as well, but for the most part, I'm doing the band just to kind of help me not have to think about the hip hinge. It kind of just forces your hips to go back. If you haven't tried these, I highly recommend. But yeah, that's going to pretty much conclude it for the leg day, you guys. I also did do kickbacks, but I just forgot to get a clip for it. So some upper glute medius focus kickbacks. On to the prep debrief we go. Thank you guys for tuning into the workout portion of this video. We're going to jump right into the nitty-gritty of this video, and that is talking about my experience post bodybuilding show and just being very open and vulnerable about some of the things that I went through, because I think talking about post show is one of the hardest things for people that bodybuild to do, because you are left in a very vulnerable state mentally, emotionally, and physically. And honestly, you guys, the part post show that was the hardest for me was not seeing me put body weight back on, it was seeing how goofed up my hormones were, because I've always had pretty healthy hormones through and through. Before my show, my blood work looked amazing. Everything looked really good. And of course, you guys, when you are getting to an extreme level of leanness, even like for me, I didn't even get as lean as I really needed to, but I did do my show completely naturally. I waited like 2 months to get blood work done, because obviously post show, your hormones are probably not going to look too pretty, to be honest. I'm not saying that's a certainty for everybody, but for the most part, yeah, I mean, you're pushing your body to extreme places that it's probably never been, especially if it's your first show, and you really don't know how it's going to react. So coming out of my show, even peak week was, if I'm just being completely, I've never even talked about this really to other than to like my really close friends and stuff, but I was very emotionally unwell during peak week, and I shouldn't be laughing, okay? But laughing is one of my coping mechanisms for when I'm going through some stuff. But honestly, like the excitement was not there for me. It was, but like I think I was so completely drained and my body was so tanked that I did not feel the way that I was hoping to feel during peak week. Did my show go exactly how I wanted it to go? No, but I also went into the entire experience with a completely open heart and open mind. I do not regret anything. The experience was amazing. I had so many people that were there to support me, and it was overall a phenomenal experience. So post-show, my blood work was not good. All of my levels were tanked: testosterone, estrogen, thyroid, everything was honestly pretty not good. I don't think it was reflecting too much in like the way that I looked, but the way that I felt like emotionally and mentally was not very good. Up until like 3 months post show, I felt okay. And then all of a sudden, it was like my mind hit this fat wall of like just pure sadness, you guys. And I'm not making this video for any types of pity, by the way. And let me make it very clear, I'm not making this video to dog on bodybuilding at all. I love the sport, okay? I'm just being open with kind of how my experience went. I'm sure there's some people that can resonate with this as well, but yeah, as of the last like 2.5, 3 months, I'm like 7 months post show at this point. So this is a little overdue, but I just, I honestly just didn't get around to making this video. It wasn't for any rhyme or reason, but yeah, as of the last like 2, 3 months, I've been working with a naturopathic doctor to get my levels stabilized, and we are definitely finally making strides and progress. I honestly should have probably started working with her sooner than I did. Yeah, I was just trying to get my calories back up to a healthy point, let my body kind of do its thing for a little bit, and then I started working with her. And yeah, as of the last couple months, we have been making strides to getting things back on track. And right now I actually feel the most normal I have felt in a very long time, which I am so incredibly grateful for. I'm praying on it a lot lately because I had some hard days, you guys. There was like some days where I was just so emotionally just down bad. That's the best way that I could describe it. And let me just make it clear, I'm not making this video for pity. Okay, I'm just here to share my experiences. I know the grand question is going to be, when is my next show? When am I going to compete again? I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. My health is coming first right now. Competing is not at the forefront of my mind. Is the goal still to get bigger legs and build muscle? Yeah, of course. And I definitely want to bring you guys along, that experience. I'm actually in a small building phase right now, not nearly as long as my last one. Okay, my last one was like a year, but we're in a small growth phase right now, pushing food up a little bit, trying to get stronger. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Don't have a timeline in mind right now for competing. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that internally, externally, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I'm where I need to be before all else, because I've had a lot of life changes happen in the last year as well, you guys. I moved into a house. I've just had a lot of personal things go on, both positive and negative. So it has been an extremely blessed past year for me. But there's also been a lot of things that I had to put on the back burner emotionally because of prep. So I'm just really trying to be present and be there for the people that I love and care about right now. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. A little update and just kind of getting into it a little bit, because I know a lot of you guys were curious and I did want to be open and honest about that whole thing. So yeah, but I won't yap too much more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to do more like sit down talk videos. I just feel like I have so much on my heart and my mind that I want to share. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.